So, welcome to the fourth and final meeting of the Collaborative Learning Group, thinking about Elsie Dale. I know we do this every time, but because there are new faces each time, I think we do need just to do a quick round of introductions. I'm Phil Cuttle, I'm the lead facilitator.
Do you remember your mum saying to us quite clearly that whatever situation arose, she would want to be cared for at home, and that she would not want to go to hospital under any circumstances at all?
Yeah, I do.
And I think, unfortunately, that is a situation which you face now, Annie faces, and I face, is doing what is in your mum's best interests. And certainly what informs that is what she said to us very clearly at the outset, is she would not want to go into hospital for any reason at all. Now, I think it would be perfectly legitimate to override her wishes if it was to keep her comfortable. So if we couldn't keep her comfortable at home, and it became cruel keeping her at home because she was suffering in a way that we couldn't alleviate, then I would be the first one to say we need to get her to the hospice or perhaps a hospital. But if we can manage her symptoms at home, keep her comfortable, where your involvement would be no more than simply to be there. How does that feel?
I understand what you're saying, but it feels scary.
They're only going to come in 4 times a day. They're not going to help me when he falls out of bed.
That's why the palliative care support service would actually
But
put hands on.
But you know, the trouble was, we needed those there. You know, it wasn't. You know, we felt that the admission and avoidance team were not going to be there that night, which is what we needed. We didn't need somebody looking in for a couple of hours. We needed somebody there last night.
Yeah,
that night, and never having met them before, no preamble, you know, introduction, go.
As I think referrals are taken up to 7 o'clock at night for palliative care support service.
For acting,
actual
providing
people,
actual
help
night.
In the home at night.
For the whole night?
For the whole night.
For the whole night. Well, that message, I think, has not got through.
Okay.
And I shouldn't be picking it up. I've been listening in to some of these things. But you know, even I felt I didn't have that message, and that patient went into hospital.
Okay.
You know.
Oh, that's a shame. It's proving very difficult to get this message out, and you know, emails have been sent, the locality groups have been visited, but I know as a busy GP, because I've been there in your shoes, it is impossible to read every email, and it's impossible to absorb the information in that email if it's not pertinent to a case you've got right there and then. So it goes in one ear and out the other, but I promise you the information has been out there. But we'll keep sending it, and we'll keep reminding, and I think groups like this, collaborative learning, are absolutely pivotal in keeping this information out there and people's memories fresh as to what is available. I think because it's multidisciplinary, because it's locality, everyone's in the same boat. I mean, you can go to a training course which is held nationally and be spoken to by people who are maybe not working within your geographical area, and it's just not as relevant. It's not as appropriate. So this is particularly relevant to keep it in localities and to keep it with local people who all are having the same issues on a local level. But also, very importantly, the rest of the healthcare team, which includes the pharmacists, the healthcare assistants, they have not, as far as I can see, ever really been given the space to have communication skills training. And I would encourage CPAN to put some resources behind that, because they're very keen to learn.
I've met a lot of people that I've not met before, and not just GPs. I've met whole multidisciplinary people, including people from the community and in hospital. And I hadn't realised so many services were available. Plus they have a lot of very useful information and experience to impart, which would save a lot of time and bother when we're looking at a particular answer, a question for a patient to achieve. So with faces and names, we can actually then approach them.
And it's been really interesting to see what it's like for community physicians, GPs, nurses, pharmacists, etc., to find out how difficult managing patients can be for them, as well as them having an insight into how we work in secondary care. We've been able to have a greater insight into the services that both we provide in secondary care and what primary physicians provide, and how we can probably work together to provide services for our patients. It's very good as a trainee to come to this, because I think sometimes moving from hospital to hospital we can compare services and actually reassure some primary physicians of the great service that we can offer, and actually how we do want to work with them. It's not one against the other, it's us all working together to provide a greater care for our patients. So I definitely come again if I was offered.
There are lots of different types of training available. What makes this different?
This is different because it's very multidisciplinary, not just doctors together from different disciplines, but actually invites healthcare assistants, pharmacists, district nurses, specialist matrons to come along. And I think it's important for doctors to realise that other healthcare professionals are incredibly useful to help us manage our patients. We all do it together, and everyone has a really broad range of skills, and we should learn about those.
Sometimes it's just the little nugget. An awful lot of the stuff you'll know before, but somebody just says something to you and you just think about it differently, and it affects everything. So today somebody was just saying this hospice service is immediately available. And I've been to meetings listening to all this stuff, and people present these huge stuff and look at all that bump, but I missed that little critical nugget of information, and that will change my work in practice. So that's what I got. Some little bits like that can make a huge difference to the way I practice, and effectively how I practice affects patients, affects the health economy. Yeah, it's good to meet people from other disciplines and find out what's going on in their worlds.
I was initially quite sceptical about whether these would take off, but in fact they've exceeded my expectations extraordinarily. I mean, the degree of involvement that we've had from not just the GPs who always speak up, but everybody else has been really inspiring, and the problem for us as facilitators has been getting them to keep to time and getting them to stop talking, rather than as sort of casting around for things to say. So it's been great, that has. So that sort of cross-pollination has been very, very powerful. This is innovative learning. It's successful learning. We've got people coming now, and we've created an expectation. We need to fulfil it.